Howdy folks, this is the Command Line Vulpine here, and welcome to a very special video. This is me finishing Darkest Dungeon 1, often played on the channel but never finished. I'm recording the webcam here in post-mortem, basically. I've been playing this Darkest Dungeon run in my free time when I'm on the bus ride to work and back from work. So it's recorded on a really crappy little laptop instead of on my main recording rig. So I figured, let's not mess around with that microphone. Let's let it use its very limited resources on the game and recording and nothing else. Even still, it's going to be a little blurry because the resolution was a lot worse on the laptop, etc., etc. But yes, finally, after 10 years in development, hopefully it'll be worth the wait. I finally beat the game. Spoilers, I guess. Obviously, there's some mods running. I am playing it in an easier mode. Radiant mode's on. It's technically not supposed to be easier. It's just supposed to be less grinding. Characters can go on to quests that they normally wouldn't be once they're over-leveled. In Radiant mode, you can also take people back to the Darkest Dungeon, although I don't do that here. You can see that the team I've selected here, they've not gone to the Darkest Dungeon yet. And apparently, even if you do, it's not worth it because they start with like 80 stress, so... Radiant mode doesn't really make things that much easier, but the mods do. I have a mod on that's removing negative traits from trinkets, and there's a mod that allows us to carry 3 trinkets. Also, stress heals are better, but no one stress heals in this party, so that won't matter for this. Basically, as many times as I played Darkest Dungeon, and I'm okay at the game. It's just like, I'm just never going to get through this thing if I don't do something that makes the grinding a little bit easier, because there's just a lot of grinding. And even with all these mods on, it was still really hard. Though, surprisingly, this last battle was not that tough. Like, the Darkest Dungeon in general, the namesake of the game, I guess. The Darkest Dungeon in general, I actually didn't think was like the hardest parts of this game. I'd say the hardest parts were... definitely the courtyard, I think, is definitely the hardest part of the game. If you're playing with that DLC installed. It's just those are all very long missions, except for like the very first one, I think. And because of that, you have to go there multiple times per run. And it's just a nightmare because everyone gets the Crimson Curse while they're there. If you don't complete a mission, even if you're not killed or something and you just leave, which you have to do in the courtyard just because the missions are so long. The issue is time doesn't pass in the hamlet, so everyone who's like getting stress healed and everyone who's getting their quirks removed and stuff like that, none of that advances. So you're just like generating these diseased people over time, and it gets difficult. So that was the hardest part of the game, and also just shambler fights are extremely hard. But we have our team. Basically, the equipment there I selected, I gave everyone a damage boost. I gave everyone some sort of defense, either protection or dodge or HP. Vestal obviously has a healing boost. We're buying everything in the shop, even though we don't need everything. Most of it won't matter, just because I have over 2 million gold. Because at a certain point, it became that gold was not a problem, and then just the crests and everything down there at the bottom became an issue, and then those are finally taken care of. That's what all the grinding was. Like, just getting all of that, it took forever, which is why I'm like, let's just make it easier to grind so we can play. I thought about like just turning off all the mods for this final fight, but I didn't do it. Probably should have, but it's okay. We win by a fairly decent margin here, I would say. Again, spoilers, I guess, but we need something to talk about while we wait for me to get through all of this. Yeah, I'm being very meticulous to make sure I have everything I need, because I couldn't remember exactly how tough this fight is. I've watched someone play this probably 2 years ago. Actually, it probably was like 3 years ago. It would have been when the Crimson Court DLC came out. I watched a playthrough of it. So I actually didn't remember, like, is this fight harder than the last one? The last dungeon... second to last dungeon, I guess you'd call it in this case. It was supposed to be incredibly difficult. It's the giant maze one where there's enemies all over the map that will teleport you to a random spot on the map, and then also the boss fight itself can teleport you to a random spot on the map if you don't fight it properly. But I actually made it there in one direct path and killed it in one try. I didn't have to teleport again. That might have been from the mods, but it was also by a pretty big margin. So I don't think it was because of the mods. All right. The Heart of Darkness. Here we go, boys. And yeah, the game's a little bit laggy. The laptop, I upgraded it recently because I had one from like 2009. It'd probably be able to play Darkest Dungeon, but it definitely wouldn't have been able to record it. We'll let the ancestor talk.
Behind the veil, a crumb of cosmic truth. I found it here, and in that moment of brain-blasting realization, I ceased to be a man and became a herald, an avatar of the crawling chaos.
Wayne June's voice acting, man, is just absolutely legendary. You've got to, if you haven't listened to it, listen to some of his readings of H.P. Lovecraft stories. They're incredible. There's a lot, in addition to these ancestor quotes.
In your petty pursuit of family redemption, you consume those who rally to your cause, and in so doing, you strengthen the thing, accelerating the end. This is as it should be. It is why you are here.
Not true. None of our characters died until this part of the game, and it's unavoidable. Yeah, Darkest Dungeon 2 is coming out tomorrow as of when this video comes out. In early access, it's not done yet.
We are chained here forever, you and I, at the end of the world. Free yourself. Rouse the thing and embrace the ineffable cosmic hideousness that lives within us all.
It's actually kind of stunning how perfect the timing was. Like, I knew Darkest Dungeon had to be coming out sometime soon, but I didn't know exactly when. So I was trying to crank it through while I was playing it on the bus. And it just happens that I got to the end of the game right as that was announced. So I actually beat this Monday morning, basically. It's Sunday morning. Shield breaker there. She had to hit him, even though I know he's invincible. We gotta take out the perfect reflections now. I went heavy damage for this fight. I'm gonna crank up the music because Stuart Chatwood, he's a music designer for Darkest Dungeon and Darkest Dungeon 2. His music is incredible as well. Yeah, we just gotta beat these imperfect reflections until you start summoning subpar reflections. At this part of the game, I was like, uh-oh, maybe I should have brought someone who could stress heal. But I didn't in this case. I take the easy kill there. I don't like the overkill things, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Not really any difference about who I hit here, but I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, it's also my cursor is not in the right spot. I had a lot of trouble recording this actually on the crappy little laptop. Start using my bandages. Here I'm like, let's just use Judgment. The Vestal's hurt anyway, so it'll self-heal. And that reflection didn't have much HP left, so she could probably take care of it. And then you just always hope with the leper that you'll get a crit and it'll just one-shot things, but didn't happen in that case. They get a crit though. That's a lot of stress. This is what I was really worried about, so I was like, oh shoot. I might be in trouble here. You can't hurt the last ancestor there, he just gets to exist. So I'm like, all right, you know what, let's just give her armor because she's in a bad spot right now. There's one of the bad reflections, which gives us a chance to actually make some progress. No one's hurt yet, so I'm still using the Vestal to try to get the cheap kills. Did not work there. Just use the Bounty Hunter to take out the main guy here. Another overkill situation, but it had to be done. I should have put Hue on the Leper, because I think there's some... I don't think I ever used Purge here. I really should have checked that and put Hue on so I could do a little bit more efficacy. There's a good block. Stress still goes through though, so I guess it's not really worth that much. We use an impale to get the free kill on the weak guy. And then we put blights on the first two and hurt them a bit. Hopefully to put everything within lethal of the other characters. Ugh, good crit. And that is the, I don't think I said the third item I put on the characters. I gave them all accuracy, except for the Vestal here, because her damage is kind of pitiful anyway. We weren't really worried about her damage, just mostly her heals and her defense. Again, the shield breaker's a little too fast. This might have actually been like a good thing, like if we had the negative traits on the trinkets. It might have actually been a good thing if they slowed the character down there, because she would have been able to act on these enemies. But you can see it's going pretty well here, all things considered. So that's why I don't think that the mods are that much of a difference maker. Do the Adder's Kiss because it's a little bit stronger than her Pierce attack. I think the Shield Breaker is actually like too strong of a character. There was a lot of a good dodge. I did give him the Ancestor's Coat, which gives you like plus 15 dodge. But yeah, the Shield Breaker can hit every rank from about any position that she's on her side. Which is different than like any other characters because she has a spear, I guess, but... And she can move up and down really quick, so if she gets moved out of place, she's really strong. Her main attack pierces armor, which becomes a serious problem later in the game, especially like the Garden Guardian fight. That thing has like so much protection that it's absurd, and she can just pierce it and get ignored. She even has an attack that breaks guards, which is also extremely effective against the Garden Guardian. Was hoping for a crit there, so it maybe killed the one with an action, but... Oh, that good dodge! His dodge is 50. He should be dodging like 50% of the time. Although I've had characters at like 60 get hit like 10 times in a row before. Like, even with the mods on, this was really hard. Well, not this fight, but... surprisingly not this fight, but... the game in general was still hard. Oh my god. Those dodges are out of control. Do another impale, because they're in a good position for it. Stun pays off there. You take the easy kill, since the leper should do slightly more damage. Not quite enough blight, unfortunately, but it's fine because we can't hit the guy in the back anyway, so we just take it out with the Vestal. Again, she's too fast. I probably should have just had her Serpent Sway again. I think the Serpent Sway makes her even faster, though. And this is his last HP. You just have to kill 5 of these imperfect reflections. It sucked that we didn't get a stun there. If I had known it was... Oh, that was a good hit, though. That's another good chance for a hew, but we win. See an Heck Ancestor? Or not.
Fluid. It can be changed, reshaped, remade.
Ugh. Bleeds and stress. Luckily we still have lots of bandages. Well, not really lots, but... Can't use our better melee attack here. We have to use our... the one that has a little bit more reach. And this is like why I said the Shield Breaker is good. You can hit any position. Which is why I brought her. I just brought a ton of damage output on this party. And then this Vestal's really good too. They have, in addition to their healing item, which gives them like 30% more heals here. I think I use a party heal here, which I actually don't use the party heal that much, but I brought it for this mission just in case. And it paid off big time. Fortunately, the leper is one of the characters that can't hit the back spots, so he just has to defend. I figured that would be worth it. Here go my last 2 bandages, though, I think. Actually, sometimes I just forget to use my items. I think I just forgot there. Or maybe I figured I think I maybe figured that I could just party heal and just try to save those bandages for a little bit longer. Now he's close enough that our big damage hits can go off. I remembered for her. I check his stun resists. I was like, he might actually be able to get stunned. Oh yeah, I figured, like, I was debating whether to do the party heal or the stun. I think he can do more damage with his group attack than I can heal. So I was like, you know what? Let's stun him. It might not work, but let me just pierce him again. This guy actually has no armor, so her armor piercing ability isn't really worth that much. It's just her ability to hit any rank. Man, this is so good. Our leper doesn't actually get that many crits here, which is sad because leper crits can be enormous. That was a good dodge because that probably would have been a ton of stress for her. Lucky bounty hunter's getting crits. Next stage.
The flesh is immortal. It is undying. Pray it does not take
There's a good crit.
Hideous form.
So the important part with this part is if this thing gets enough turns, the final boss has extra HP. But if we can kill it early, the final boss will not have as much HP. So even though we could like try to stress heal and buff and stuff, I'm like, let's just try to plow through this thing. Every time we hit it, we get blighted too, but we still have our anti-venoms. And because every time we hit it, it's happening, I'm trying to let it stack a little bit. Its bite resistance is pretty high, but this still does more damage because it doesn't have any protection. Or I guess I was comparing them right there. Here we go. Also, you get healed every time you do it too, so I'm not super worried about the blights until they stack up more. All about that damage right now. Everyone resisted that, which is nice. I don't know how bad that would have been if it had hit. Yeah, check out the blight, and it's like, it's not bad. It's just, wonderful crit. Just plowing away at it. Very quiet part of the fight. Like, as long as the leper hits here, we get it. There you go.
Behold the heart of the world, progenitor of life, father and mother, alpha and omega. Our creator
Now her stress is getting real bad.
and our destroyer.
Ooh, buddy. I noticed this blight resistance was pretty bad, so like, let's do the Adder's Kiss. And this is the big spoiler of this fight. You just gotta pick someone to die. Everyone gives their comments on Leper, of course, is a badass and is like, spare the others. But I'm like, Shield Breaker, you have 50 stress right now, so I'm just gonna get rid of you because you might just break. And this is where the game says, hey, your first character died. Crit. Bounty Hunter's pretty badass too. He's just like, that's his reaction to possibly being killed here. Let's beat the crap out of the heart. I do love how the heart beats to the pulse of the music too. It's really cool. It's an awesome boss fight. Like, characters don't need heals yet. Let's just do damage. There's the next one. This one's hard. It's like the Vestal doesn't want to die. The Leper's ready to die. Bounty Hunter doesn't seem to care. Problem is, I kind of need damage right now is the thing. So goodbye, Vestal. We need our damage dealers. I think this starts to hurt. Like, oh, that's a lot of damage. Maybe I shouldn't have got rid. Oh yeah, and the stun. This made me really worried. I was like, oh shoot. Maybe I should have kept the Vestal because this might get bad. 22 HP. Bounty Hunter can't move or get his blight healed. The heart's real fast too. Ugh. Oh yeah, the bounty hunter gets down to like 1 HP. Yeah. Literally 1 HP, and I can't cure the bleed either. I can't heal him. But we kill it. And then we get our items back from our dead characters. 1 HP bounty hunter up with bleed. Maybe it was a little closer than I thought.
Ridiculous notion. We are born of this thing, made from it, and we will be returned to it in time. The great family of man. A profusion of errant flesh, multiplying, swarming, living, dying, until the stars align in their inexorable formation, and what sleeps is roused once more. To hatch from this fragile shell of earth and rock and bring our inescapable end. So seek solace in a manner befitting your lineage, and take up your nugatory vigil, haunted forever by that sickening prose echoing through the infinite blackness of space and time. Ruin has come to our family.
Goosebumps. Absolute goosebumps. What an incredible game. So, Darkest Dungeon 2 comes out tomorrow. No, my brain doesn't work that well. Comes out Tuesday, which is tomorrow from when this is being uploaded. So it is tomorrow for you guys. And I'm going to try to get that cranked out as quick as I can. 1 day turnarounds are pretty rough though, but I'm going to try my best. So, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to hit the like button, keep the conversation going in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more. Also, check out the Discord link in the description below if you want to join that. And until next time, I hope you have a good day.